Welcome to Ace Designs 107, and today I have a gold text effect tutorial, and I hope that you guys do enjoy. So I'm looking pretty forward for this tutorial as it's really simple and you guys can learn some really cool features that you probably haven't learned in Photoshop before, either from me or other past tutors. So I do hope that you do enjoy this tutorial and you learn some things with it. So we're first going to go to File, New, and we're going to make the width 1920 by 1080p, and we're going to make sure the name of the document is whatever we really want, but I'm just going to name it tutorial for the sake of it. I'm going to make the background contents transparent. The beauty with this is we can edit the color whatever we really want after that. So I'm going to press OK on my keyboard, and what I'm going to do now is just make my background foreground color black and white. I'm also going to set my foreground color by double clicking on the first little box to like a really dark gray, not black but dark. So it's going to be 090909. It's a really easy number to remember. Press OK. Now we're going to grab our bucket tool. To do this, just click on this, either it's going to be the gradient tool, click on the gradient tool, hold your mouse click, and then select the bucket tool. Click on your back on your document, making sure that your bucket is set to foreground and you are sweet to go. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to lock this layer by pressing lock key up here, and we're just going to also rename it BG. BG standing for background. You can really name it whatever you want. So now we're going to get our text tool and we're going to hit the we're going to draw our text out. So to draw our text, we're just going to click on the document and we're going to type in a name. For the name that I'm going to be using, I'm just going to use gold, but you just do want to take a note of the font that I'm using. I'm using Trojan Pro regular. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can download this font for free. So I'm going to just type in gold on my keyboard holding shift, and I'm just going to press Control Shift Enter, and that'll automatically fix my whatever I've typed. Now I'm going to press Control T on the keyboard, hold shift when I resize it, and then bam, I've got my font. Now take note that the font color that I'll be using is F38400. Make sure you write that down in the little hashtag box and you'll get the exact same font color that I'll be using. Now I'm going to center our font on the document by pressing Ctrl A. That'll select the document overall. We're going to press V on our keyboard to select the move tool, and second and fifth icon up on the toolbar. Now I'm going to press Ctrl D to deselect that document, and we have centered our text. So the next thing to do is just apply some blending options. So we're going to right click and go blending options, and we're going to go to our bevel and emboss. Now we're going to do the depth 225 and the size is going to be 8. Now with the angle, we're going to leave it at 120 and the altitude of 30, and we're also going to change the gloss contour to this little thing here. So once you have made your gloss contour that and all the other settings like this, you have really made your text. So we're going to press OK on those blending options, and we have done our text. Now the last thing to do is add some couple of more effects to make it look a bit more polished. So I'm going to press Ctrl J on a keyboard or go to Layer, Duplicate Layer. We're going to press OK on that, and we're going to right click on that layer and we're going to do Convert to Smart Object. We're going to press Ctrl T to when that layer is selected, and we're going to right click and do flip vertically. We're also going to hold shift and drag this down all the way. We're going to drag it on the bottom of our original layer. Now we are going to make this look like it's a reflection. So to do this, we're going to select our mask tool. We're going to grab our gradient tool the same way we grabbed our bucket tool, and we're going to do a gradient from black to white. We're going to make sure it's on linear, and it was also going to make sure it's on normal. Okay, so make sure that we are on our mask, and we are going to click and drag while holding shift, and we can fade out the layer. Basically what a mask does is when you paint over with black, it'll get rid of that stuff. When you paint over with white, it'll reveal stuff. So for an example, if I change to the white color to my foreground color, I pick my brush tool, see I can paintbrush some certain areas. However, if I get my black color and I paint over it, I'll lose some stuff like that. Basically with the what we're doing with the gradient tool is we going from black to white, so we're getting rid of the stuff on the bottom, and with the white stuff we're going on the top. So that's what we're really doing with the mask. So okay, now we've made our reflection, we're just going to change the opacity a little bit down. I'm going to use probably opacity 55 is great. You can really use whatever opacity size you really want. For this one, I'm just going to be using 55. Right, so we have really made our gold text effect. One more small thing that you can do, but this is not a part of the tutorial, is you can right click and go to your blending options and also add a glow. But before we add that glow, we want to do one more thing. So we're going to make a new layer on top of all these layers. We're going to grab our brush tool. We're going to make sure that the size is on relatively this size to our text, so I'm using a 111 for the size, and we'll also make sure that we're using just a standard brush with a hardness of 0. Make sure that our white is our foreground color, and we're just going to click on areas where we want it to shine on the text. So I'm just going to select randomly, you know, just to show you guys what this part of the tutorial is going to do. Okay, so once we have done this, it might look really ugly now, but what we have to do is just change the blending mode of this layer. So we're going to click down here and we're going to go to overlay, change it to overlay, and basically we made it shine now. So obviously it's going to be coming out of the text a little bit, so we want to change our opacity down a little bit. I'm just going to leave it at 100. I actually don't mind it, you know, making that little area of light. If you guys do, there's nothing really that you can do with this. You can mess with the fill and opacity, but you know, you're not going to really get rid of that glow besides getting an eraser tool and just erasing it off. So yeah, but one more last thing that you can do is just, as I said, add a glow to our original layer. So go back to our original layer, right click and go blending options, and then we're going to go to outer glow, and we're also going to make the color whatever color you really want. I'm just going to use the same orange or something like that. Make sure it's a pretty bright orange because it is a glow, and we're going to change the size like that and change the opacity right down. So we don't want it like too big, but we just want it subtle. So 8, and you can change the spread a bit. 13, the size about 10. So what I'm using here is I'm using range of 50, the jitter of 0, spread 13, size 10, technique softer, opacity 8, and the color is FFA825. Press OK and press OK on that, and we have applied that small glow. So guys, this is the gold text effect tutorial for Tuesday. I do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it was quick and concise. I hope that you did learn something, and if you know how to do this tutorial off by heart, I'll be sure that you'll be using this effect in many of your artworks to go. So guys, I'm really tired now, so I better hit the sack, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.